Living with bad credit sucks, and it costs you a ton of money on top of that. Not to mention how it negatively affects your well being. Emotionally, you feel horrible because you have bad credit. So, in this video, that's what we're going to talk about. And for the people that don't realize how much bad credit is affecting them, this video may be for you. And honestly, it may help you decide to leave that life alone of dealing with bad credit and actually make steps forward to getting your credit right and just honestly living the life that you truly deserve. Most people think having a bad credit score is just like a number, whether it be 490, 560, or 610. It's so much more than that. It's missed opportunities. And my worst, I do not like this, high interest rates. It means extra fees, and it means it plays on your emotions in the worst way possible. So those are the things that people have to go through when they choose to live with bad credit. I know the feeling of avoiding checking your credit score because you're afraid of the low number that you might see. I totally know that feeling and I get it. It gives you a sense of being frustrated. It could be embarrassed. You could be a little embarrassed. I know there's times where it's like, oh, I am so embarrassed, and I would never say my credit score like out loud to anybody. I've been there before. And honestly, it gives you a sense of feeling hopeless or even powerlessness, which sucks. Like not being able to get the loan that you need, whether it be a personal loan or you need a credit card, or maybe you even need to find an apartment and nobody will approve you, but only because you have a low credit score. It gives you a limited opportunities of where you can live because it's like this place denied you, this place denied you, denial, 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 denial. That does horrible things to your emotional well-being. Living with bad credit is expensive, and it's just you're on the struggle bus the entire time. Let's talk about the first struggle. Missed opportunities. Having bad credit honestly equals missed opportunities, or it equals you being very, very limited to the few opportunities that are out there. Having bad credit makes it harder to get things that you need. For example, you may need a loan to get something. Most people in this day and age don't have 30 grand to put down on a car with cash. Most people don't have $400,000 to pay for their home in cash. So we rely on our credit for people to front us the things that we want, cars that we can't pay for fully, or we choose not to pay for fully in cash. So cars, homes, and lines of credit, credit cards, personal loans. So we rely on our credit in order to get the things that we want without fully paying for the actual item. Bad credit blocks you from having access to those things. So bad credit can block you from having things like even getting a job. There's some jobs that your a credit check is required as part of the hiring process, and if that credit check comes back as you having bad credit, you will not be getting that position. So most of the time though that occurs in positions that have to do with the financial sector. So if you are trying to get a job in insurance, for an example, you may have to go through a credit check. And if they check your credit and it comes back that you have bad credit, you may not get hired. Or even if you're trying to get a promotion in your job, let's say you work from a large company and you're trying to get a promotion in the finance department or dealing with money in some way, a credit check may be required, and if you do not have good credit, you may have lost the opportunity of getting that higher paying job. Whatever the benefits were for that position, now you have missed that opportunity all because you have bad credit, and that sucks. Even when it comes to housing, like as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can get denied an apartment, a roof over your head, because you have bad credit. You may have the money. It may be the perfect place. The school district may be perfect. The proximity of that apartment to your job may be perfect, and you can get denied that place to live based off your bad credit. Whatever's on your credit report, whether something happened to you, everyone goes through life and struggles. Whatever happened in the past and it affects you financially, that can haunt you now and in the future if you continue to just live with that bad credit. And that totally sucks. And even, of course, when it comes to buying a home, if you have bad credit, you can get denied for buying a home. Even when it comes to buying cars, like I said, most people don't have 30 grand to drop on a car. Or just for example, this is an example. Let's say your car completely gives out on you today. Your car is done for today. And you got to go out and find, of course, a new, reliable car. It doesn't have to be new, but of course, you would want a reliable car. You have to get back and forth to work on time. You have to take your kids to school. You got errands to run. You need a reliable car, and you don't have the 20 grand up front to just be like, I'm gonna go out and go buy a new car. So you go to the car lot, okay? You go in, you test drive the car, you find a car that you like. You can afford the monthly payments. All is good. You go in, you sign, they check your credit, and they're like, you're not approved. And you're like, so you walk out of the dealership, head held down, you're leaving no car, and now you're hopeless. All because you have bad credit. Or you're leaving to go now you got to find a co-signer to co-sign you a car, and you have to go through all those extra runarounds just to get the things that you want. Why? Because you have bad credit. Point number 2, high interest rates. Ugh, I hate high interest rates. It's crazy. It's just literally like giving out extra money. Okay, I heard this before. I didn't come up with this, by the way, but I forgot where I heard it from. You're better off driving down the street with your bag of money and just dropping it out the window as you drive. At least you're actually helping somebody that may need it. The banks do not need my extra money. The banks does not need any extra money from you. So bad credit equals you live an expensive life and you're just handing out money to whoever you're borrowing. The lenders, you're paying them extra money. Compared to you could be paying them so much more less and keeping your money for investments, savings, whatever you want to do with it, and not just handing out extra money to people. So let's talk about interest rates. Look at a home. The average home here where I live is like $300,000. Most people don't have $300,000, so you leverage your credit to get the home. So if you have bad credit, for example, and you get approved for a home, at let's say 7% interest rate. You have bad credit, you got approved at a 7%, but there's other people out there, or if you came with a good credit score, you could have got approved for a 6% interest rate. So let me tell you the difference. The difference between most people think, okay, yeah, what's 1%? 1% is only, it's only one digit. It's only one digit increase. But when you're talking about interest rates for a large purchase, like a home for $300,000, that is actually a huge number. So because you got that 7% interest rate and not the 6% interest rate, you have given the bank over 50 grand over the entirety of your loan. So you just handed the bank an extra $50,000, all because you decided to purchase the home with bad credit. So I know 7% isn't that big of a deal, but like, what if the average is 6%, right? Which I think that is right now. I think it's about like 6.80% for if you have good credit and you buy a home. If you get a home that's like 8%, 9% interest rate, I got the home, yeah, and you just handed the bank a whole freaking bunch of money. Like, I don't know about you, but that makes my heart sink. That's like a no for me. So if you're going out and you're making purchases, especially if you call yourself buying a home, you need to get your credit as best as it can be before you go out and go buy that home. Because when I say you're going to be thanking yourself that you waited maybe a little longer to get your credit right, because it's going to save you so much money down the line. So even when it comes to buying a car, you go out and get that car for 20 grand, 30 grand. You're better off going to the car dealership when your credit is at its, look at the birds. Birds. Ugh. Come on, I'm trying to focus. The birds are paid actors, okay? They're getting paid. They're gonna get water and they're gonna get food. If you have bad credit and you're trying to finance a car, they're going to run your credit all the way up. You're gonna have a bunch of inquiries because they're gonna try to figure out who's going to accept you, and get you the best rate that they can give you. You're gonna be paying a high interest rate, okay? Point blank period. Let's keep it simple. If you're gonna go finance a car, go buy a car, and you have bad credit, you're gonna get a deal, okay? And who wants that? I don't know about you, but I want to get the best deals I can possible and not get the bottom of the barrel and have to pay double the car. Instead of having you pay for two cars, but you're only driving one. That doesn't make any sense. And when it comes to like personal loans or even getting a credit card, if you do get accepted, they do give you the credit card. If they do give you the loan, it's going to be at a very high interest rate, aka it's going to be very expensive. So, no. Third point is extra fees. A lot of times, I like to say taxed. A lot of times, lenders will tax you if they do approve you. If you don't miss the opportunity completely, you're going to get taxed crazy. So, tax, you're going to get a super high, you're going to get high fees, and you're going to get high interest rate. So, if for an apartment, if the apartment does allow you to rent from them or give you the opportunity, they're going to say, hey, but you have to give us double the deposit. And it's like, double the deposit? I barely came up with the regular deposit and the first month's rent. Now you want me to give you double the deposit? It just makes you, it just puts you in a bind financially. And every time you turn around, you can't even level up financially because you're having to pay extra money for this and extra money for that and extra money for this and extra money for that. And that's just not a life that you want to be living. Even when it comes to getting your water turned on in your apartment or your home or your electricity, they will have you pay an extra deposit because you have bad credit. And once again, it all goes back to that sucks. And lastly, living with bad credit just plays on your emotions in the worst way possible. Life is hard enough as it is, and to hear that you're being denied every time you turn around. If there was an emergency right now, and credit is like your lifeline, okay? Because everyone has bills, everyone has their own family. You can't always call on someone else that has their own responsibilities for money. So boom, you have your credit as your lifeline. If there was an emergency today, if you had to catch a plane, you and your family today, or something broke down, or you need a new roof on your home, or anything, you would utilize your credit if you have good credit to get those things that you need in the present, and then you'll worry about paying that line of credit off in the future. You can pay for it, whether it be in installments or however you choose to finally pay for the entirety of what you get. But the point is, you get to use the money or you get to use the item now when you have good credit. And when you don't have when you do have bad credit, you're left to, it's going to cause you stress. It's going to cause you anxiety. You may even get depressed because it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for this? And I need to have it paid in 10 days. My water needs to be paid in 10 days or it's going to get shut off. And I don't have the money because I don't get paid until whatever. Oh, I have my credit card. Or, oh, I can go get a personal loan. Or, whatever. And you can't rely on your credit. It just makes you stressed out because you don't feel like you're getting ahead in life. You don't feel like you're capable of getting the things you know you deserve because you're being haunted and stopped because of your credit. You're just being held back by your credit. You can't do the things that you want to do. You can't make the moves that you want to make because you have bad credit. And then the times that you can get a few things, if you can get a car, if you can get this, they're gonna tax the heck out of you. You're gonna be like, oh my God, every time I think I'm climbing up as far as financially saving money or whatever, here comes someone that's like, oh yeah, well, your credit isn't good enough, so I'm gonna need you to give us a deposit, an extra deposit. Oh, we approve you, but we're gonna approve you at a 9% rate. And it's just like, are you serious? Like, having to live the life of like the only way you get ahead or the only way you can get the item is, oh, I gotta find someone to co-sign for me because I've been decided to get my credit right. Let me know down below, has your bad credit ever got between you and an opportunity? Have you ever had a missed opportunity? How are your interest rate? Have you ever noticed where it's like, yo, I'm paying a crazy interest rate when I could have been paying something so much more less? Have your bad credit ever made you stressed, depressed? Let me know in the comments down below because we are here to help each other out. And I hope that one day soon, if you're not already working on it, start working on getting your credit right. Work on getting your credit, work on getting a good credit score and your credit healthy now before you actually need it. Most people don't realize getting having good credit or working on your credit, it isn't a quick thing. It doesn't happen like, oh, in a month or two. It takes time to heal that credit score of yours. It takes time to climb up on the scale of credit. It takes time. So you want to start before you actually need the car. You want to start before you actually want to get the house. You want to start way beforehand. If you can relate to anything I said in this video and when it comes to bad credit, I want to tell you guys, it's not over with. You guys can make the choice to fix your credit, but you have to start. You have to start soon as possible, and every little small step is a step toward actually having good credit and living the life and all the stress and all the worries, the missed opportunities, all the extra money that you're just wasting. That's leaving that life in the past and moving on to a life of financial freedom. All you have to do is make the choice to start working on your credit now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I inspired somebody that if you have bad credit, please work on your credit and get it right once and for all. And then once your credit is, you have a good credit, focus on managing that credit so you will never have to be back where you used to be. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.